I'm also interested to play other games like Chess960 or Fischer Random, as they call it, like that you have 960 maps instead of one.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Fischer Random Chess, Chess960 is...
Yeah, that basically just means that the pawns are in the same way and the major pieces are distributed randomly on the last rank. Only that there have to be obviously bishops of opposite color, and the king has to be in between the rooks so that you can castle both ways.
Oh, you can still castle in
You can still
Chess960.
castle, but that makes it interesting. So you still have it still castles in the same way. So let's say the king is like here.
Yeah. What happens in that case?
Yeah, let's say the king is in the corner. So to castle this side, you have to clear a whole lot of pieces.
Well, what would castling look like, though?
No, the king would go here and the rook would go there.
Oh, okay.
And that's happened in my games as well. Like, I forgot about castling, and I'd be like attacking a king over here, and then all of a sudden it escapes to the other side. I think Fischer chess is good that it's the maps will generally be worse than regular chess. Like, I think the starting position is as close to ideal for creating a competitive game as possible, but they will still be like interesting and diverse enough that you can play very interesting games.
So when you say maps, there's 960 different options, and like what fraction of that creates interesting games at the highest level? And this is something that a lot of people are curious about, because when you challenge a great chess player like yourself to look at a random starting position, that feels like it pushes you to play pure chess versus memorizing lines.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. But that's the whole idea.
Yeah,
that's what you want. And
how hard is it to play? I mean, can you talk about what it feels like to you to play with a random starting position? Is there some like intuition you've been building up?
It's very different. And I mean, understandably, engines have an even greater advantage in 960 than they have in classical chess. No, it's super interesting, and that's why I really wish that we played more classical chess, like long games, 4 to 7 hours, in Fischer Random Chess960, because then you really need that time, even on the first moves. What usually happens is that you get 15 minutes before the game. You're getting told the position 15 minutes before the game, and then you can think about it a little bit, even check the computer. But that's all the time you have. But then you really need to figure it out. And like, some of the positions obviously are a lot more interesting than the others. In some of them, it appears that like if you don't play symmetrically at the start, then you're probably going to be in a pretty bad position.
What do you mean, with the pawns?
With the pawns, yeah.
Why?
So that's the thing about chess, though. So let's say white opens with e4, which has always been the most played move. There are many ways to meet that, but the most solid ways of playing has always been the symmetrical response.
Yeah.
With e5, and then there's the Lopez, there's the Petrov opening, and so on. And if you just banned symmetry on the first move in chess, you would get more interesting games.
Oh, interesting.
Or you'd get more decisive games. So that's the good thing about chess, is that we've played it so long that we've actually devised non-symmetrical openings that are also fairly equal. And
but symmetry is a good default.
But yeah, symmetry is a good default, and it's a problem that by playing symmetrical armed with good preparation in regular chess, it's just a little bit too easy to it's a little bit too drawish. And I guess if you analyzed a lot in Chess960, then a lot of the position would end up being pretty drawish as well. But
because the random starting point is so shitty, you're forced to.
You're actually forced to play symmetrically. Like, you cannot actually try and play in a more sort of interesting manner.
Is there any other kind of variations that are interesting to you?
Oh yeah, there are several. So no castling chess has been promoted by former world champion Vladimir Kramnik. There have been a few tournaments with that, not any that I've participated in though. I kind of like it. Also, my coach uses like non-castling engines quite a bit to analyze regular positions to get a different perspective.
So castling is like a defensive thing. So if you remove castling, it forces you to be more offensive. Is that why? Or...
Yeah, it just for sure. No castling probably forces you to be a little bit more defensive at the start, or I would guess so, because you cannot suddenly escape with the kings. That it's going to make the game a bit slower at the start, but I feel like eventually it's gonna make the games more less drawish for sure. Then you have some weirder variants like where the pawns can move both diagonally and forward, and also you have self-capture chess, which is quite interesting. So that pawns can, or
commit suicide, or what?
Yeah, people can